Darth Vader is getting a big resurgence right now. He's got the comic book, he's got the novel that came out, and of course he's now in Rebels Season 2. The comic and the novel really gave much more of him remembering his life as Anakin and how that affects him daily. Is that something that you want to explore at all on Rebels?
For me, I mean, Vader in this time to me is a pretty unrepentant person. He's aware of the guilt, but you have to remember, like, Anakin doesn't think he does anything wrong. He thinks everybody betrayed him. Padme's death is a horrific side effect to what went down, and I think he does feel responsibility there because the Emperor makes him believe it's his fault, right? But at the end of the day, as long as it's serving to consume him in anger and hate and throw that out at the world, then I think it all works. For me in Rebels, I'm not telling that story. I would probably get into telling the story of there's this apprentice, the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker. Anakin Skywalker taught her, I need to destroy the memory of Anakin Skywalker. That would be Vader's stance on it, because he doesn't want anybody to remember the good person that Anakin Skywalker was. That name no longer means anything to me. You know, that's where he's at. No one is going to turn Vader except Luke. And even then, it almost doesn't happen. I mean, it's a tragic story at the end of the day, Darth Vader.
When you sat down with Dee and Ashley to fill them in on the interim time that their characters had been away, what was the thing, obviously, don't want spoilers, what was the thing that that you wanted to convey about how they're approaching rebellion and how they look at the Empire after all of this time?
I think it was important for them to know, more basic things like how long had it been since they saw one another? What was it like the last time they saw each other? There was a story where, Ahsoka returned. I'm not going to say she became a Jedi before the end of Clone Wars, but she was involved in a pretty important plot, and Rex was also there with her. So they had seen one another after she'd left the temple, in Clone Wars. So that was important for them to know, so they have some context for how long they had been apart. Rex will get into kind of what his view of the Empire of. Some of that we deal with on screen. I mean, because kids watching only Rebels are going to have to know. It was just important so they understand the sense of time, the sense of history between them, and what is their relationship like. And I play on that with the two characters whenever they are in the same scenes. And they're not in many scenes. It's kind of like Rex and Ahsoka are very good friends, but they don't actually share a lot of screen time in Clone Wars even together. They are in the movie together a little bit, but I didn't overplay the relationship anymore in Clone Wars just because they're both from that, Rebels, just because they're from that show, Clone Wars. I kept it very true to who I think they are, and obviously they're very important to me as characters that I worked on over the years with George. So I think they stay true and evolve the way they should throughout Season 2, and we'll just see what happens.
All right, super quick. I know everyone's really excited about Rex, but I'm really excited about Gregor. So, give us just a quick tease about, because obviously he's very changed from what we've seen so far. Give us a quick tease about Gregor and how he's... No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Well, Gregor, I said a long time ago to kids that watch Clone Wars that Gregor survived that explosion that he was in, and I felt like this was finally an opportunity for me to make good on that promise. So the only thing I would tell you is to ask yourself if you've survived. Gregor at one point lost his memory and thought he was, a fry cook basically, and worked for a guy named Borkus, I think, and then he got his memory back that he was an elite commando. Then he kind of was in the middle of a giant explosion and survived. So he's had a hard time, Gregor. So he's pretty changed from all that trauma.
All right. Awesome. Thanks so much, Dave.
Take care. Dude.